Ladies and gentlemen, the final of the Austrian Open will be starting in 7 minutes in the arena, so come on down. welcome to the final of the 2025 Predator Austrian Open. Taking place in St. Johann in Pongau, in the beautiful Austrian Alps, we have an all-Polish final. Firstly, from Warsaw, he's the 2022 World Temple Champion, looking for his first Eurotour title. Will you welcome Wojciech SZEWCZYK. His opponent, hailing from Lubin, Poland, he's a two-time Eurotour champion. Will you welcome the Butcher, Mieszko FORTUNSKI. The referee in charge of the action is Alan Bujas of Croatia. It's a race to 11 players. You may lag for the break.
Good evening and welcome back to the Predator Eurotour series. We are live from the Austrian Open in Sankt Johann in Pongau, Austria. 215 players started their campaign on Thursday and now we have reached the final. In the final, both from Poland, we have a multiple Eurotour winner, Mieszko FORTUNSKI, here in the screen, up against a man who is seeking his first Eurotour title, Wojciech SZEWCZYK. My name is Tim de Ruyter, and with me in the booth is my good friend and colleague, Graham Hickman. What do you expect from this match, Graham?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Nice to be here. Looking forward to this one. Yeah, it's a great question. What do we expect? A couple of things come to mind. I do think we'll see some big breaks. Both these guys can break the balls extremely well. And they're very attacking, especially the Butcher, coming off a incredible last rack, beating Mario He in the semi-finals. If you missed that one, you need to watch that one back on YouTube. Absolutely insane. Plenty shot making. Be interesting, Tim, to see if, just because SZEWCZYK has not won a Eurotour, if that comes into play, should the winning line get closer. But I think this will be a great match. I'm not sure what you think, but I'm sure they've played each other many times. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, there's definitely the side effect of playing each other probably so many times that it starts to get annoying. I mean, how often have you had that one player that you just keep drawing in every national tournament, and now you play your first final in the Eurotour and you meet each other again? So it will be interesting to see. Sometimes it makes for great matches when you've played each other 20 times, you know, because both of them are getting comfortable around each other, but it could also make it really scrappy because they know each other's game so well.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. But still, they've both been playing very well this week. Some good wins. A bit of a battle in the semi-final for SZEWCZYK, coming through against Oliver Solnocki, 11-10. That was a bit of a match. I didn't commentate that one. I think that was on an outside table, Tim, but I heard that one was a bit of a battle. Slightly different on the Butcher's side. He actually beat the man who knocked Filler out in the quarterfinals. Ergu Turku beat Filler. But this is what we're up against. Oh, what a great shot. Oh, it was a great effort. Very, very nice. A bit of a roll here, but felt it was worth the risk.
Well, look at how close he got to making the one, and imagine if he had made the one, he would have had an easy jump on the two, or maybe had the two ball available in front of the corner. So definitely worth swinging at the jump. Oh, that could be the first mistake of the match. Was trying to kick it full in the face and lost the one ball and the cue ball. So let's go over the rules for all the new viewers out there who hasn't been watching the Predator Austrian Open so far. We are playing 9 balls, so I have to shoot in order 1 through 9. The 9 is the winning ball. The 9 ball is racked high, so the 9 is racked on the spot. We have a rule, it's a 3-point rule. It's a kitchen rule, so you have to get 3 balls past the line or make a combination of making balls in the pocket and balls passing the line on the break. And there's a shot clock in effect as well. 35 seconds with 1 second, with 1 extension, 25 seconds per rack. I think I covered most of it.
Yeah, just one extra rule is the break. We have a alternate break format, but each player will have 2 breaks before switching to the other player. And that's an interesting one, Tim. We've been talking about this a little bit through the matches. Obviously, as a player yourself, the lag is important because you do want to break first and have the advantage on a normal alternate break. If it's hill-hill, then you do have the break in your hand. But if you win the lag in this format, you will have the first 4 breaks out of the first 6 racks. How important do you think that is as a player yourself?
Well, it can be very nice, or it could be disastrous if you lose the break for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's always perspective, of course. Like I've also seen tournaments where people at some point were trying to lose the lag, so in the deciding set they would have the first break. So, yeah, I mean, pool players will always find a way either way, if they lose or win the lag. Yeah, Wojciech Szewczyk, former world 10-ball champion in Las Vegas. Also ran by Predator Group. That was an amazing feat for him. Definitely his biggest title to date. But definitely, I think it would be real nice for him to win his first Eurotour title. I think he's been playing the Eurotour for over 10 years. So it would be nice to maybe cross that little bump.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking in the chat there, thanks to everybody joining us. There's a bit of a voting poll going on of who they think would win this match, and it's pretty even. 50-50-ish pretty much. Not surprising. It could be very, very close indeed, this one, with Szewczyk getting off to the first rack there. They're asking about the prize money, Tim. I think it's 6,000 for the winner and 4,600 for the runner-up. That's in euros. It's a 50,000 prize pool for this Predator Austrian Open. So not a bad payday, Tim.
Yeah, definitely not a bad payday, and I'm quite sure the winner of this pays the other player a nice piece of steak or something, because obviously they're both in the Polish team. So yeah, I don't think they will be too harsh to each other whenever they lose.
So FORTUNSKI with his second break, hoping to get one back. Trying to make it 1-1, let's see. Chasing that one in the side. And the wing ball in the bottom left corner. Makes the 1. Gets the points. Does have a shot at the 2. Not really a clean-cut potting opportunity, but a pretty relatively straightforward safety, you would think, Tim, to use maybe the 8 ball and the 3 ball as cover potentially.
Yeah, nice safety underneath the 3 ball. He's played it really well. If you consider he's taking away the kick over the right long rail. Still able to go over the left side, but it's a little bit more distance, I would say.
Maybe 2 reels. You can just flick off the 2 potentially, avoiding the 4. Try and get that cue ball, come back down table.
played an excellent shot there too. Went 2 rails, probably easier to contact than 1 rail. Got the distance, has left something aggressive for FORTUNSKI to swing at, but it's still so early in the match. Kind of feel like he has to. He doesn't have much more. Is the cue ball gonna end up behind the 6?
Oh wow. Needs another good shot here though, Tim. Just drifted past. Don't know if he can find an angle off a couple of reels, or will he have to put a big draw stroke on this, Tim?
Yeah, just wondering, can he maybe skim off the 8 a bit and then put a monster draw? Oh, does he got past the side? I gotta say, it's already a huge effort for him to get past the side pocket. Still tough on the 4. I do believe there is still the cut. But yeah, I mean, it's really not a hanger. And you have to run the cue ball a couple rails.
Yeah, well, I mean, he would have done well to get a bit more out of that 3 ball. It was a very tricky safety shot. But in the last match against Mario, he was playing quite aggressive as well. What a great shot that is. Still needs to have another one. That was a very good cut on that 4 ball.
Yeah, good news for him. Doesn't have to pound the cue ball as much. Basically kill the cue ball. You should be fine on the 7, but make the 6. Oh, excellent cueing.
Yeah, some great shots here. Just what he needed. All came from a good safety shot. To be fair to SZEWCZYK, he did play a good kick shot, Tim, but he did leave an edge, and as you said, it's kind of one of them shots you couldn't refuse. Oh my goodness. Bit of a snatch on that, mind. Wow, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. He was perfect.
Can you imagine after all those shots he just made? He's missed probably the easiest of them. Wow. Not a great start for FORTUNSKI. SZEWCZYK going to bank the 8 to the top short rail, possibly the cue ball underneath the 9. But he's going to be focused on pushing the 8. Ooh, actually was more trying to get the cue ball there than actually to push the 8 to the rail. FORTUNSKI could go aggressive here.
Yeah, great. He did play a very similar kind of bank to win the match against Mario in the semi-finals. Very different circumstances, of course. I mean, the cut is very risky as well, Tim. The white ball could be tracking to the corner.
Oh, is the cue ball gonna stop in time? It does. Wow. He made that look easy. Now, if that 9 ball drops, he's gonna feel a lot more comfortable on the table later on. What a game we've just seen. So, FORTUNSKI wins 1 out of 2 on his own break. Next up is SZEWCZYK breaking twice. Yeah, great safety on the 2. Excellent cueing on the 6, but then this 8 ball still manages to win the game and tie the score.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long day for the players in some respects. Obviously, if you go deeper in the tournament, you have more games to play. Race to 11. Just with SZEWCZYK finishing a little bit earlier in his semi-final. He was on first. And then FORTUNSKI really finished not so long ago. What kind of impact do you think that would have on kind of back-to-back matches? I guess SZEWCZYK had a little bit more time to recover. Pros and cons of both, I guess, Tim.
Yeah, good point. Always makes a difference if you play the first or the second semi-final. But this is also very personal as well. Some players, they like to keep playing because the arm is hot at that point. And the others, they really like the rest, so... Well, has made 2 balls on the break, I believe. The one and the wing ball. 2 balls passing the kitchen line, so definitely not an illegal break. But look at this messy layout.
Yeah, the balls at the top of the table are both potable, but this 4 ball is a problem. If he does get a nice angle on the 3, he could have an option to come down and open them balls up to him. It's not in an awful position, really, if he gets a good position here.
Yeah, you have to try and land straight or a little further. He came up slightly short, so we'll have to go over the short rail. Makes things slightly more difficult. He's going to try and run 2 rails into the 4.
Yeah, if he just nudges, has any kind of contact here, I think he'd be on with a shot. Oh, he's opted to play safe. It's not a bad choice, that, Tim. He's played that pretty well. Maybe a little bit further roll would have been nice, but he can put FORTUNSKI in a bit of trouble here.
Not as well as he hoped to do. I mean, as you can see from this angle, he does have the save. Think he even could opt for the jump because it's a small edge of the 7. But he's kicking 2 rails, probably with quite some pace. Oh, look at the 4.
Yeah, the problem there, Tim, he was kicking the 4 ball into that wide open space of the table, wasn't he? So to get cover was going to be pretty difficult. That's why he played it with a bit of pace, but it was a good shot selection by SZEWCZYK to put him in the snooker. Make it difficult. Now he's got a wide open chance to run this out.
A little bit hampered by the 7.
Yeah, a bit of a natural angle though, isn't it, to come down? Doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. It's always nice when you can just concentrate on potting the ball, let the cue ball come down naturally. He's in pretty good shape here. Just try and get this cue ball back to the middle of the table area. I'd love to have a bit of a straightish 8 ball. Play a nice stop shot. It's fine.
Yeah, most of the angles on the 8 will work. And he's on his way to capturing at least one of the 2 breaks he's done in this match now. Obviously, with this 2 breaks each, they're trying to get 2 out of 2s all the time, but kind of inevitable. So Wojciech takes the lead in this match once again. 2-1. We'll be breaking next, so he's facing a possible 3-1 lead. Just a lot depends on the break. We've seen some crazy things happen on the break. A nice break and run. So last break, made 2 balls on the break, had shape on the 2. Can he produce another one like that? Well, the answer is yes. But the 6 ball will be stopping him. No shot on the 4. 3 balls on the break. And you know, Graham, I have to say, I honestly don't mind the jump. Like, it comes with such a high reward.
Yeah, I agree. And when you look at the push out, it's not really ideal either. He's going to push up to the top of the table. But maybe he might push into a bit of a kick shot on the 4 instead of leaving the 4 visible. Yeah, I don't know, I kind of like your shot, Tim, because giving FORTUNSKI a shot at the 4, he could go for a bank himself, or he could put SZEWCZYK in a bit of trouble if he can get some cover, so time will tell if it was the right shot.
Yeah, you can bank the 4 down table and get a couple balls in between, and now he will not have the jump. Or, I mean, obviously you're gonna see that he can jump now into the 4, but more saying this is not an open shot to jump at. The one he had after the break actually was an open shot to jump. So he's opting to kick 2 rails. Or at least I'm guessing he's going 2 rails, trying to catch the 4 from the bottom. Not extreme speed, like probably like medium-ish, because you don't want the cue ball to fly up with the 4. Just some separation. Oh, from this angle it doesn't even look like he can get underneath. He needs a rail. It's not gonna get there.
It's ball in hand. Yeah, it's a funny one, Tim, because you hit such a good break, and it's always hard to kind of swallow a little bit when you pot 3 balls, especially, you know, having 6 balls left on the table to then be hooked. It's a bit rough, and you feel maybe that jump shot might have pushed the boat out a bit too far. However, in hindsight, obviously he would like to have that jump opportunity back, given he's just gave ball in hand. But as you know, Tim, it's easier to say that sitting watching the game instead of playing the game. You have to feel in the moment what's right for you, and we do know SZEWCZYK likes to play a good safety game as well. He can be very attacking. I think if it was the other way around, maybe FORTUNSKI might have went for that. I do feel he's a little bit more attacking at times.
Well, we don't really miss balls from the booth either. I mean, it's always easy to say for us.
Depends if you count a commentator's curse as a miss. We've got to take the blame for that sometimes.
Oh yeah, we have patent pending on that. Yeah, left himself a little bit of a weird angle on the 6, so I had to do a little more with the cue ball. I think he's got perfect on the 7. Can stop the cue ball right there. Yeah, phenomenal ball runner, Mieszko FORTUNSKI. It's definitely a player with an extremely high gear. Straight in on the 9. So out of 4 breaks, we're tied at 2. And it will be Mieszko FORTUNSKI breaking the next 2.
Yeah, probably what we expected early on, I guess. A few mistakes, a few breaks being held, a few breaks being stolen. Not sure I was going to expect fireworks from the start, but maybe as you mentioned, they both play each other many times. Team colleagues. Yeah, it can go a few different ways when you know each other so well. I do expect at some point in this match there'll be a little bit of a run by one of them. It depends who can get that break going, I feel. It looks like they've got, especially SZEWCZYK has found a good break. Just needs to get an open shot. Let's see if the butcher can match that with a few balls off the break. Chasing the 1 in the side, gets it, and the 2 in the corner. And this looks to be dressing up. Oh, I was just about to say okay. I think it might have ran a little bit too far for comfort. 4's nice, everything's wide in the open, but that 3 ball, Tim, it looks a bit thin, you think maybe. Just ran on.
Yeah, it's a little bit in between. I kind of feel you have to go. But he's also queuing over the 7, so it's a little bit tricky. But the only thing he has to do is make the ball. Anything on the 4 is okay on the 5. Yeah, he's missed it thick.
Yeah, it was very missable. I think the bridging wasn't the massive issue, but I just think the angle was relatively thin into that side pocket. Very missable. And this combo is makeable, and the way he would make it, it would send the 3 kind of over towards the left side of the table under the 9. So if you can judge the pace here, Tim, you could push the 3 on for a shot on the left side as well.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Has to judge the pace on the 3 ball, but also the cue ball. Well, we might see a bank coming up here. I think he could bank the 3 and leave it safety in mind just in case.
Yeah, this is one that he can't refuse. With it being so far off the cushion as well, he can control it a lot better. I do fancy him to make this one.
Ooh.
Oh, but he hasn't. He has got the safety, like you say, a bit of cover from that 9 ball. Did fancy him to make that one though. It was very much more easier than it looked, I think, for his level. He hasn't got that.
Yeah, actually not a very bad hit. Caught a good side of the 3 ball. It was just a little bit of pace. Missing a little bit of pace.
Yeah, a bit of a test of this. Cued it well. Needs to get off that 8 ball. It has. It's landed quite nice, Tim, actually, from an angle point of view, and he's got plenty of space on this right side of the table. So good shot there. It's well, that worked out well.
Yes, a little bit more punch on this 5 to cross over to the right side of the 8. Oy, that is very unexpected, especially if you consider how near he was to that 5 ball.
Yeah, you can see there, he just caught it into the long rail first. Didn't really pot the 5 clean, and with the power, like you said, he was punching the ball. Just came in at a funny angle. Needs this to keep running, so he's in the 50-yard line. Still probably going to play it in the bottom right, Tim. I think maybe 3 rails for the 7 in the top right. Do you think he can hold for that to go around the 7?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be too worried about the cue ball. I would be more worried about making the shot. It looks a little thinner than anybody would like.
Yeah, base looks good.
Well, and most important, the cue ball stays off the rail. It's still enough off the rail to where he can stun the cue ball over for the 8 in the left center. If it got on the rail, things could be a little scrappy.
He's all around that as well. By quite some weight. I'm sure he was playing for the centre pocket there. Yeah, he's looking at the cut, but he has all around that by some distance. There's plenty table to play into. He can choose to hold for the 9 in the corner or come down for the 9 in the side. Yeah, he's coming round. Give it the biggest opportunity. And looking to take the lead 3-2. Mistake by SZEWCZYK, punished by FORTUNSKI there. Surprising miss there, Tim. He was in good position there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. If he makes that 3 ball, gets that shape on the 5, and the distance between the cue ball and the 5 was maybe 2 diamonds. This was not a long shot by any means. Very unexpected. But, you know, we should not forget the fact that they have played now, was it 4 matches today? Last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and now this is the 4th. So fatigue could be there too. You know, it's a real grind, the finals day, any tournament. So I can understand that he misses one of those shots, but yeah, I don't think we've ever expected him to miss that.
No, exactly. I guess it's the same as we didn't expect FORTUNSKI to miss that 8 ball in the early rack. Things will happen. Not everybody can play perfect pool, and sometimes you take your eye off it. Nevertheless, it's 3 racks to 2. FORTUNSKI with another break. His final break of his 2 breaks. Gets the wing ball. Makes the points. And he does have a shot on this 1 in the side as well. Not bad.
Yeah, I have to say, a little bit of a mishit on the break. As you can see, hit it almost straight in the face. The wing ball getting a slight bump as well, and finds its way. But results don't lie. If he breaks and runs here, I mean, still adds 1 to the board.
Yeah, I don't really see any major issues. Even distance on this 3 isn't too bad. It's a long shot, but the 4 ball is there waiting. Just needs to focus on the 3. Doesn't want to be totally straight on the 4, because the 5 is on the right side of the table, so he does have a little bit of angle. I do fancy him to make this. Doesn't need to overpower this. Wow.
Yeah. Well, just because he had to hold the cue ball. We've seen that quite often this week, to where he had to kill the cue ball on this shot. And that's where somewhere in the brain, like it's saying, no, 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 aim it a little thicker so I can hold the cue ball. Like it's a thing that happens. Super weird. Super annoying, but it just keeps happening to everybody.
Yeah, the interesting thing though, Tim, is it didn't necessarily have to kill it completely, because even if the cue ball was more to the center of the table, it was still fine for the 4-ball, so still fancied him to make that. He did have a bit more room to play with, given the 5-ball on the other side of the table. Still, chance goes back to SZEWCZYK here, and he's just missed one in this pocket, so it might help him refocus, make sure this one counts.
Well, I'm just wondering if he touches the 6, where's the 6 going to land? And will it be easy to get to the 6?
That's a great call, that, Tim. He's caused a problem for himself here, because now all of a sudden he has to put another shot, a big stroke on this, whereas before the 6 was there waiting. Good call.
Well, he is going forward. He's not even playing draw. Maybe the 9 is in the way. Wow, what a shot that is. Let the stroke out. Beautiful cueing.
Yeah, that'll make him feel good. A few good shots he's played here. I think that 6-ball, obviously unintended to go on the rail, but he did weather the storm and he's landed pretty okay. Just needs to get off the cushion here. Yeah, and he's okay now, Tim. A couple of good shots there.
Well, he did catch the 6-ball real first. Quite sure that's not the way he intended it to play. Now another top spin. Could play with draw also in front of the side and crossover. He's going forward. I have a feeling he likes those shots.
Yeah, maybe more comfortable going forward than backwards. Well, he executed them perfectly both times. And now he's got a natural angle on this 8-ball. Just let the cue ball come back up table above the middle line of the table. It should be fine. Even held it shorter, so nicely done. Feels like they're just splitting the racks at the moment on each person's breaks. They're sharing 1-1.
Yes, they are splitting the racks, and basically we're just waiting for that one player that says, okay, now I'm done with this nonsense, let's play, and then kind of take off a bit, because I'm not saying by any means they're playing bad. They're coming up with great shots, but we've also seen quite some interesting misses. The balls that, yeah, I would be surprised if they would miss them against me.
Yeah, exactly. I think with it being the final, we can probably give a little bit of... Either way, they've both won big tournaments, European Championship medals, and yes, we can say SZEWCZYK is chasing his first Eurotour, but I'm sure that World 10-ball final was a little bit more pressure than the Eurotour final. Not to discriminate any tournament, but a World Championship, he must have been feeling pressure, so I'm sure he's more than fine. Just, it's still a final, Tim, at the end of the day. They both want to win. Adds a bit extra pressure.
Yeah, so now it's 2 breaks coming up for SZEWCZYK. If you look at this break, nice solid hit, making the same 2 balls, just I believe the 3-ball could be causing quite some problems. I don't think it goes to the bottom left or the bottom right. And to draw back for the 3 in the right center is also really not so available. So he's going forward. Does it still go to the bottom left? I didn't think so. Well, I'm assuming it does. If it does, the only thing he has to do is either drop this in or draw the cue ball above the 4. So this is really preference. Some players like to just tap the 3-ball in soft. But, ooh, that doesn't look too big to me, Graham.
Yeah, it's tight. But I think, obviously, he's comfortable enough to play on it, because he could have played the 2 slightly differently. To your point, he would have had to come down for the side. It does look tight, but there is space. Looks like he's playing with a bit of pace, maybe. Wow. Oh. It was tight, but I think he missed that by quite some way.
Yeah, I just think to play the shot dead weight, some players find it scary. So they'd rather, when they have to aim a ball on half a pocket, they like to hit the ball at least. I think that was pure preference. And they just cannot catch a break, honestly. Either side.
Yeah, some uncharacteristic misses. Well, it's funny, a friend of mine once told me, Tim, on those kind of shots, if it goes slowly, then it will go 100 miles an hour. You still have to hit it bang on either way. So just play the shot as you would play it, full confidence. Yeah, it also depends where the ball is on the table. But FORTUNSKI will be happy to pick up the pieces here. And at the moment, nobody can seem to get a break and run going. It will happen, I'm sure. We have plenty of breaks to go. Somebody must find a way through. Otherwise, we'd be going all the way.
Well, we did have a break and run, but it's kind of funny how one of the 2 breaks, they break and run, and then the other one, it's pure drama. Like, just the weirdest things are happening in the other break. So now 4-3, the advantage with FORTUNSKI. SZEWCZYK still has another break though, so needs another one of those breaks, because I mean, I wouldn't blame the break for SZEWCZYK. I think he's breaking the balls great.
Yeah, I think every break he's found 1 or 2 balls, or 3 in some cases. He's definitely found a break. He's just got to stick with it and hope that he gets a nice run out without any kind of crazy stuff. Not to say that 3-ball was crazy, but it did cause a little bit of a complication in the rack. He would love just a nice roadmap, as we call it, Tim, wouldn't he? A nice couple of balls in, simple run out. Just what the doctor ordered.
Well, the only thing you can do is try to hit him the same way over and over, and the results will happen if you keep breaking like that. At some point you will get the open opportunities and the nice layouts. There we go, 3 balls in. Oh boy, this is ridiculous. If you just consider he gets 3 balls into the kitchen with making 3 balls in the corner, 2 in the corner, 1 in the side, and he still gets hooked.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you could always be critical and say, well, the perfect break is normally to have that cue ball around about the center of the table. If that was the case, he would have been on the 3, but we are being very harsh there. It was a very good break. He's pushing out into a jump shot. Wouldn't be surprised if FORTUNSKI plays this. But with the balls being a little bit messy at the top, he might not, Tim.
Well, he did push to a lot easier jump than he had right after the break. And for me, like, there might be a 5-7 combination. No. I mean, you kind of have to take the risk. Even if I would be FORTUNSKI, I would probably go at it, knowing that if I make it, I might be able to play a good safety behind the 7. Well, he didn't. So it's SZEWCZYK going airborne. Wow, nice shot there. Lost the cue ball just a slight bit. Great effort. Played, as you can see, low in the cue ball. Nice bit of draw. Actually, too much draw if you consider the cue ball going all the way near the top short rail. Now, is he playing a carom on the 6 or is he deciding to play a safety? Oh, look at the cue ball. No. Look what he's given Mieszko.
I think he's been very unlucky there, Tim. He pushed out into an aggressive jump. He had the courage to take the jump on. Yes, he might have overran position ever so slightly, but let's be honest, he was jumping the cue ball. And to gift this back to FORTUNSKI is a little bit hard to swallow, I think. Good break, good jump, and you feel a bit hard done by.
Well, this could be the difference early on in this match. They really couldn't let each other go in the first 6 racks. But now it looks like FORTUNSKI is gonna take a little bit of a distance, and he's got 2 breaks coming. He's now up 5-3.
Yeah, that was a good jump. Again, like I say, I think he's been a little bit unlucky on the break so far, Tim. He's definitely found a break that's working. He's making good balls. Just can't seem to get an open shot to run anything out. It's funny how the game goes. And the match I was commentating on the other night, where you have 15 out of 20 break and runs, complete contrast. Every break the players had open shot, nice table, and they ran the balls. But then the pool gods have different ideas sometimes. That's how it goes. This is a big moment now, because it's the first time there's been a little bit of distance. And if FORTUNSKI can somehow, at worst, share his breaks, but he'd love to win them both, he could put a bit of distance here and really create some separation in this match. Let's see.
Well, this time the 1 ball catching the side pocket point did make the wing ball and 2 balls passing the kitchen line, but that's definitely something you're trying to avoid, is the one catching the side pocket point, because it gets so tricky to where you don't know where it's gonna land. Unpredictable.
But at least he can say the 1, and he can try and get some cover behind the 9, and he's done that. I'm not sure if he might have left a gap here. Bit unfortunate if he has. I think he has, Tim.
Yeah, just looking at, can he bank this 1 ball? I think it's close. Has to work the double kiss out, so maybe a little bit of right spin to open the 1 ball up. No. Oh, he was able to hit it that full. Yeah, a little bit surprised. Actually thought he only had the left side of the 1. So, not the best safety from FORTUNSKI there. and will have to save himself by kicking 2 rails.
Yeah, if he can catch this quite good, he's got a few options. He could try and catch the one on the right side, bring the cue ball back down table to the right side of the table, try and get some cover, or go for a fuller hit, try and put the one down on the bottom, kind of below where the 2 ball is, in that kind of line. Oh, he's missed it completely, Tim. I can't believe that. Oh, but the 9
what has he
looks
done
like,
with the 9?
yeah, might have messed it up for SZEWCZYK. Oh yeah, he has.
It's close. It might still go, but look at this. He's just missed it by, I mean, by how much? Like, it's so little. Well, from this angle, the 6 really doesn't look like it goes. Just to make things more complicated in this match, let's put the balls together.
Yeah, it always feels like at the moment SZEWCZYK is always having some work to do or something to figure out. The 5 ball's not in a terrible place if he does want to make some contact with the 9 and the 6. Maybe it's deceiving Tim. Maybe that 6 is potable. It does look tight though. We'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, it's really tough to say. From some angles I would say yes, and then the other angle I would say no, it doesn't go. So I'm sure Wojciech's eyes will be fine. From this angle, really doesn't look like it goes.
He could play a 2-way shot here. He could try and come below the 6 ball, Tim, and kind of try to get it on in the top left corner. Doesn't get there, he could have a good safety. Or he might try to disrupt them. Yeah, it might just go. I think it does. Clearly he's played that, and he can just bump into the 9 ball and leave a nice maybe 3 or 4 rail running shot to go up for the 8.
Well, has to load the cue ball up with a lot left. It did go. Well, that makes a big difference. Could pull one back on Mieszko's break. Still difficult to reach for him. Yeah, nicely done. Low left spin. For a second he was doubting if the cue ball would get there, but he's got perfect low right on the 8 to get to the 9. This match is giving me a super tight feeling, so why not put it out there? Let's have a hill match.
Yeah, there's no reason why. The way that it's going at the moment, everything seems to be nip and tuck, as we say. Nobody's pulling away at the moment. A few mistakes, loose safety shots, a few good shots. Yeah, I'm with you, Tim. I can't see this unless someone finds a break and really starts to run a couple of their breaks. It looks like it's going to be drama all the way.
Well, I just think it's interesting how most of their 2-break innings are split. Like, they're just sharing the racks. Now it's FORTUNSKI breaking. He's gonna look for shape after the break, but we could easily have a 5 each score after this break. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, great. I wonder if whoever wins this rack, I wonder if they might take a little time out just to see if they can regroup. But it's not always what players want to do. Let's see. FORTUNSKI's last break in this little set. See if he can try and get that one in the side. 8 ball tracking for the bottom left corner. That's his targets. Gets them both. Now the 1 ball. Wow. Came out nice though, Tim, didn't it?
Well, if you look at his cue ball control, is very nicely on this break. The only thing, look at the 1 ball catching that side pocket point, and just like I mentioned, when it hits that side pocket point, it's just so unpredictable where it's gonna go. So it's not like you can break with a certain speed to make something happen. I'd rather make the 1 and play the cue ball in the center of the table. Now there's 2 balls out of the way. But yeah, I completely agree with how the balls are laying. Well, until he played the 1 ball, he's actually landed a little bit weird to where he has to leave himself more angle on the 3 ball. Cannot get above the side.
Yeah, I think that 4 ball, looking at that angle, Tim, I don't think it goes clean, so he will have to play a combo here. And it just looks like that 6 ball is on the rail, so that just makes it a little bit more, well, complicated, or strange things can happen if you don't catch it correctly, unless you can get round the right side of the 4 and play the 4 in the same pocket as the 3 ball. But I don't know, you could play the 4 off the rail in the 6, also an option.
Well, he could also go to the short side, right?
Yeah, exactly. He had a few options. Play it in the same pocket as the 3, as I said. Just thought you had to get this one bang on for position for the 5 next. Looks pretty good here though. Just follow this through. Yeah, it's all about pace control from the 6 to 7, Tim, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's got such a big area in the center of the table. It's interesting how we have 2 completely different styles in the final. I've seen that so often. Front runner style, fast and smooth cueist, Mieszko FORTUNSKI, and then Wojciech SZEWCZYK, probably one of the biggest grinders on the circuit. I mean, it's just so tough to play against Wojciech because he does basically everything right. All the ability you need to play pool, pocketing wise, breaking wise, jumping wise, defense, such a high level, so difficult to beat. So I really think this makes for a great final. 2 different styles, and so far super close score. 6-4 Mieszko FORTUNSKI.
Be interesting to see now if obviously SZEWCZYK does keep the same break. He will keep the same break, I'm certain of that, because it is working. He's just got to hope that he gets an open shot this time. There's no reason to change his break, Tim. I think he's breaking very well. I just think he just generally hasn't had the best of luck in terms of open shot.
Well, he desperately needs a couple of those, I can tell you that. Let's see what he does. Wojciech SZEWCZYK. He's got the break slightly thin and the cue ball down the drain.
Maybe this is the moment, Tim. Things are changing.
still, it's not a guaranteed run out. As you can see, there's a little bit of traffic around the red 3 ball. So we'll need to get on the 3 with a reasonable angle to get to the 4. I think that's definitely the challenge. If you get nicely on the 4, don't really think it's super tough from there. Let's see if he's gonna play this with... Well, he's gonna try and land in between the 6-9.
Yeah, I like that shot though, Tim. It's a bit more natural, isn't it? From the 2, just let the cue ball drift over. Just about pace.
Oh.
Maybe overrun it a little bit, unless it goes in the side a bit naughty. Not sure if he played that way, but looks like it goes in the side from here. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball. Just run forward a bit, guarantee yourself angle on the 5. Well, it's still some movement to do, some traveling to do. We'll have to stun off the rail to get to the right side of the 8. Now, a real straight pool player would probably play the 6 in the side, but they don't have to travel the cue ball as much after. A 9 ball player is probably wrapping the cue ball 2 rails to play the 6 in the same corner as the 5. But I guess he's a straight pool player.
I think it was probably just the... If he plays it the way of the 2 rails, he might have had to just put a bit much on it. It might have been closer to leaving the cue ball on the rail. The good thing is with that, Tim, as well, if he just rolls it in, the 7 ball, he's going to stun through the gap, it looks like. He actually played that position very well, though, so it made that shot a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the thing with leaving it to the side. You need the perfect angle to be able to continue the run. If you get a little bit awkward angle, then you have to force the cue ball around, which makes the shot to the center pocket a lot more difficult. But he's been playing that shot perfect. He's missed one of them earlier to the center pocket. Not this time, and this time is a lot more important, I feel like, than the 3 ball he's missed earlier on. This is to get a big gap going. This 9 to get 3 game gap, biggest gap we've seen in this match if he makes it. He does make it. So 7-4 on the board for FORTUNSKI.
Yeah, it was a good run out, really. Maybe he didn't catch the break perfectly, but that's how the pool world works. You have SZEWCZYK, who seems to, up until a moment ago, it was breaking extremely well, just couldn't get an open shot. FORTUNSKI maybe a little bit off on the break there, but it ended up like a bed of roses. Did have to play a few good shots, but it was a very well taken out clearance nonetheless. And maybe this is the turning point in the match, Tim. This next rack becomes huge.
Yeah, it was probably the worst moment mid-match to get a scratch on the break. Best thing SZEWCZYK can do now is get the score 7-5 with a monster break and then basically pray for FORTUNSKI to fail twice, but at some point you're starting to ask too much. It's only a race to 11, you don't have that much time. Oh, look at this. I was just gonna say it for a second, if these 2 balls bump each other, could have been a dry break. But he makes 2 balls in the random top corner. The 1 and the 3 ball. And actually, not a horrible layout here, Graham, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's the first time he's really had, if I can say, a pretty straightforward. I've just got this 2 ball is probably the biggest shot really to get position. It's all about this shot, I think. He's trying to go up and back down. Needs to run a little bit. Not sure about this one, Tim. It needs a bit of a shot here. Not sure how close he can get across the table for the 5. He's a bit straight, isn't he?
Yeah, he might just opt to stun the cue ball off the rail a slight bit. Doesn't have to go all the way over. Just a ball or 2. Yeah, clever thinking. Wasn't thinking to go in between the 6-8 because he knew he needed the angle on the 5 to cross over to play the 6 in the bottom right. So the only thing he has to do is pocket the ball, a little bit of speed control.
Yeah, I don't expect him to go crazy on this one. Giving it every chance. He's played that pretty well. A little bit of a cutback, but should be fine.
Oh no. The spin got him there.
Yeah.
The long rail really makes the 6 hang up. And can you believe there's a window right in between the 7-8?
Yeah, I can't, Tim.
Wow.
Just feel like the tables have turned a little bit and everything that could go wrong for SZEWCZYK at the moment is. But there'll be one man who will be very happy, and it's that man at the table. More than appreciated picking up these pieces for another rack. And that was a big turning point in this match, I think, Tim, because like you said a moment ago, he's going to have to pray for a bit of help from FORTUNSKI. And boy, if he can find a break or 2 here, this match could be... Oh, he's taking a timeout. I think, Tim, probably wise, you think?
Yeah, definitely needs to turn the momentum around. And also maybe splash a bit of water in his own face, you know, just to make sure he gets sharp. Because we've now seen, what is it, 2, 3 missed balls from SZEWCZYK, which at this stage of the tournament, like, you just cannot. And I'm not saying this because I'm rooting either way or because I want the results to be only SZEWCZYK. I'm more saying I'd like to see this be a match, and this way FORTUNSKI is just going to scrape up the pieces every time.
Yeah, I think if we look back on this match already so far, those misses have been very costly. And it's really the difference. The breaks haven't really been so kind to SZEWCZYK at the moment. And the Butch has just been steady away, picking up some of the pieces. I wouldn't say there's been anything crazy in terms of big massive shots or anything like that. It's just been probably a handful of maybe loose safeties or a couple of missed balls. It's really been the difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, in the meantime, we could go to the Predator Women Eurotour, which started today. The ladies will continue tonight with one more round, the last 16. Currently only the players through the winners bracket are known. The following: Ina Kaplan, Nina Torvund, Katarina Wieselowska, Olivia Zalewska, Jolien Schuurman, Lena Primus, Claudia von Rohr, and Pia Feller. They managed to qualify to the winners qualification, to the winners bracket. They're currently waiting for the draw still to come up. Will be exciting to see who we will crown tomorrow as the Predator Austrian Women Open Champion. So definitely make sure after this final to stay tuned, because we still have a lot more action to come from Sankt Johann and Pongau. Yeah, currently one match still going on, the loser qualification between Rose Vadeux from France and Sarah Iannini. Score now 6-5 for the lady from France. When that match is done, I can tell you more about the draw, but for now we will have to wait. Of course, all the information is to be found on epbf.com. Everything is on there, so if you cannot wait for me, just go on there yourself.
Yeah, and also Yasmin is going for her 3 in a row for this season's Eurotour Ladies Series. She won the first 2, just like Joshua did as well, but he has fell at the 3rd hurdle, if you like. But Yasmin is still battling, going for the 3-peat, if you like, or 3 in a row. Be interesting to see how those games unfold tonight and tomorrow when we get the finals. Great to see her back and super strong team as ever. So here we go. FORTUNSKI with 2 breaks. Boy, would he love to win them both. Get himself touching distance of that title. Gets the 1. Could be an illegal break though. It is. Makes the 1 ball, but only 1 ball came up past the head string. There we see. So opportunity comes back to SZEWCZYK, and he has 2 options. He can either play the shot or he can put FORTUNSKI back in, but I'm pretty sure he will not be giving this one back. Could play aggressive here, Tim, if he wants. Big shot, big moment. Or does he duck and play safety? What do you think?
I think I would give it back. I don't like either of them. The safety behind the 4, for example, 2 rails. If you try to play it full off the 2, you might run into the 3 ball. And if you look on the left side of the 2, I just don't think you can really get the cue ball out as a save. Yeah, and how are you going to play shape if you go aggressive?
Yeah, I just think giving FORTUNSKI time at the table. He's got a little bit of a cushion if he wants to play aggressive. Maybe he can come up with something. I feel like when you've got an opportunity of a full ball, figure something out. Good safety, but let's see.
Oh, he's winging at this. How's he going to get on the 3? Well, he doesn't.
There you go.
Scratches. Is this the turnaround we like to see in this match?
Yeah, I think you tried to put that 2 ball, Tim, and come a couple of rails to bump into the 9. Very aggressive. Misjudged and scratched. SZEWCZYK taking the opportunity to bump that 9. And he really needs to take these ones out, Tim, doesn't he? I think if he somehow breaks down here, this could be pretty much over. He needs to take these out.
Yeah, did he leave himself a little bit of angle on this 4? I would assume so, but looks a little bit straight actually on this. I think he can still move the cue ball over. Maybe a ball. Yeah. Had to punch quite a bit though. But nicely done.
Yeah, but there's extra pressure on this rack. This is huge to try and get one back from FORTUNSKI's break. He would love to steal both of them back. And then this match is back on. I do think with that 2-break format, it just gives the player a little bit more chance to get into the match or equally pull away. But he's perfect on this 7 here, Tim. Just pull this back for the 8 ball in the side. No real dramas. Very similar to that 5 he had a few frames ago, a few racks ago.
Yeah, I think the 2 game per player, the alternate breaks per 2, keeps the match a little bit more open. Usually if you're 8-4 up, just regular alternate break, I feel like it's not done, but it feels like it's such a big grind to get through. Now, because you have your own 2 breaks, it feels like you're still involved in the match. And then now suddenly your opponent makes a mistake. I think it keeps you involved a little bit more. And a little bit more play.
Yeah, I think what you said at the beginning, SZEWCZYK didn't really feel like he had an aggressive option or a safety option. So putting FORTUNSKI back in paid dividends there. It's a bit of a miss hit by FORTUNSKI, but it was a very nice finish by SZEWCZYK, doing what he has to do now really to stay in this match. But one more break for FORTUNSKI here. Okay, let's see.
Second break for FORTUNSKI.
Yeah, chasing the 1 inside. Gets it and the wing ball. This is a great break. How's your luck? Where's the 4 ball going to be? Oh, Tim, I think he's okay, you know.
Yeah, I think so too. Hit him great. Cue ball towards 2.5 diamond on the long rail. Look at the cue ball being parked in the center of the table as well. Optimizing the odds to get shape on the next ball. And just look at his layout too. Stop shot on the 4. Or, I mean, he's got a slight angle now, but just make sure you're straight enough on the 5. 7 is near. Come back down for the 8 and 9.
Nice and easy, yeah? We talk the best games from the chair, but that's a very, very good break indeed, and it's probably overdue. Somebody was bound to get a roadmap, and this is the definition of dot to dot. Hard work is pretty much been done. If I can say hard work, the balls were over the pockets. Nice angle here as well, Tim, so very, very quick rack indeed, just what he needed.
Yeah, I don't think there could be a better moment than this for him to get this layout, like you said. There's 9-5. This is going to put quite some pressure on Wojciech, his break. Wojciech coming up with 2 breaks, but every game FORTUNSKI can steal off SZEWCZYK's break is gonna just be putting more pressure on SZEWCZYK.
Yeah, these next two breaks are, we don't have to say very important in this match, but can't really afford to lose two breaks from now, because that will give FORTUNSKI the hill. But either way, whatever happens in these two breaks, FORTUNSKI will have his own two breaks to potentially win the match, in theory anyway.
Well, looking to make the one ball in the right center and the red three ball in the corner in the bottom left. Wojciech SZEWCZYK needs a little bit of help from the pool gods. That's more like it. That's more like it. Look at this for a break. Shape on the two. Wide open layout. Perfect break from SZEWCZYK.
Yeah, you said it, Tim. Perfect. Matches FORTUNSKI's break a moment ago as well. Absolutely prime position. Even a little bit of angle to go over for the four, so this is as good as it comes, Tim, and probably a bit overdue, but I would say better late than never.
Well, if you look at the positive side, you know, at least you can get going a bit, and then when things start to go your way, who knows, you know, maybe you win 3 out of 4 and things can be close, you know.
Yeah, exactly. All you can do is pot the balls in front of you, try to break well, and that's what he has been doing for the most part. Still need to take these out.
Yeah, nice angle on the 6. Just top right spin. Float the cue ball to the center of the table. Basically any angle on the 7 works to get to the 8. As long as you're kind of near to the 7, just avoid being too far off your next shot. Yeah, perfect breaker run from Wojciech SZEWCZYK. 9-6.
Yeah, he's battling, Tim. He's battling.
Desperately needed one, Graham.
Yeah, you said earlier he's a grinder. You'll have to scrape him off the table, that's for sure. Or keep him off the table. He'll be hoping to do another break just like that.
Well, one more break to go for SZEWCZYK. Can he break the balls just like he did and get 2 breaker runs in a row, closing the gap to 9-7. Has to get a little bit closer to FORTUNSKI to put that pressure on him. I mean, you don't really want to have a big distance to where winning the title is not as much pressure.
Oh dear.
Needs a little bit of a roll. Actually not bad. One ball caught the side pocket point, but this time stays in the open.
Yeah, that ball on the side cushion there, just above the middle pocket, could cause a little bit of a complication. Still got to put some balls to get there, but it's an open shot to him nonetheless, and he's got a bit of a wide open centre table, which means he can run the cue ball around. It's pretty straight on this 3 ball.
Yeah, definitely would have wanted a little bit more angle on the 2 to bounce off the rail. Still managed to get the cue ball off the rail quite a bit. He's straight enough on the 3 ball to either stun follow, like stop the cue ball, or to go forward. I like to stay above the 6 to guarantee angle, because you have to cross all the way back down to the orange 5.
Yeah, I think that 7 ball is just can be a little bit problem depending how he lands on the 6 ball. Of course, he's got a few more shots to get there. The good thing is, I guess, there's no 8 ball that you're chasing. It's just from 7 to 9. What was the pace? Just going to get there. Yeah, he's okay. So where are you playing the 7 ball, Tim? Are you coming below the 7? Most logically looks the best way to get on the 9. Wouldn't be going above it because it looks very tight on that rail.
Yeah, with that 7 ball being so close to the rail, I'm not a big fan of shooting it all the way to the bottom right corner. That's definitely one of the scariest shots in pool, because you have to pass the side pocket. So definitely can play top spin to play the 7 in the top right here. Oh, how was the pace? Oh, I mean, he still has a monster cut on the 7, but will be less position on the 9.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising that Tim, though, because he had, even if he landed straight on the rail, absolute worst case, he was still in okay position to get on the 9. Under hitting that, I thought was a little bit of a miscalculation for sure. Oh, he's made it though. What a great shot that is.
Well, especially if you look at how well he controlled the cue ball as well. Cue ball basically tracked straight over, missing the scratch on both sides. And I don't think he could have gotten any better on this 9. Yeah, so he comes through with 2 breaker runs on his own breaks. Closes the gap to 9-7. Still trailing to Mieszko FORTUNSKI, who has 2 breaks coming up now. But at least he's chasing the tail. He's putting a little bit of pressure on his countryman.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, he's right back in this match, and you said it there with the pressure on these breaks of FORTUNSKI's coming up. He does need to make them count, or at least, worst case, make one of them count. Otherwise, if he does somehow lose both of them, all of a sudden we have 9-9 Tim, and FORTUNSKI will be feeling it extra pressure.
A little shot there of the crowd. A nice little crowd we have for the final. I have to say, back in the day, the Eurotour really at some point didn't have too much crowd going on. Just happy to see that now people are showing up to watch these beautiful matches, these finals. That's what the players do it for. And a little shout out to UGC, Predator representative in the crowd as well. Now a little bit lucky to make the 7 as well. Is he gonna have something on the 2? I think the answer is no, Graham.
Yeah, you said it. The lucky ball in the side gave him the points, but that 2 ball whizzing around the table did not land in a good spot. Totally hooked. And I don't really see a straightforward push out either, Tim, because it's covered. There's not really an obvious place.
I mean, he could push, for example, into the 4. Maybe nudge the 8 together with the 4 and move the cue ball slightly forward. Also, there is a jump on the 2. If you really don't know what to do, there is a jump. Like, I'm not a big fan of pushing to at least an open shot on the 2. And actually, I'm not a big fan of leaving the overcut safety on the 2 because it's such a high percentage.
Well, so FORTUNSKI's pushed into a ask the question position. The 2 ball is definitely on. It's a very difficult shot. Big pressure on that, but with SZEWCZYK just running the last 2 racks, surely you've got to be feeling a little bit confident here, Tim, and feeling good about taking this one on.
Oh, he's missed it. Where's the cue ball? Cue ball stays up, but well, hasn't left a shot on the 2, but I have a feeling Wojciech will be hooked very soon behind the 8. Kind of felt like he had to go here. I mean, he's down. Also made a little bit of a comeback. So if he made the 2, he had such a great opportunity to get the score 9-8. Oh, he did go aggressive to make the 3 ball. Excellent shot there.
Yeah, full
really
credit.
Didn't want to get Wojciech back to the table.
Yeah, I like that, Tim. He wants to win this match on his own terms. Playing aggressive. Sometimes getting bogged down in safety, crazy things can happen, and as we know, he's a bit of a shot maker. He's FORTUNSKI. He wants to try and take this out, get himself on the hill. What a great shot that was. Still needs another one just to get over for this 5 and have an okay angle. Come back for the 6.
Needs a bit of angle on the 5. Don't think he's got it. He's straight. Will have to draw back at least to where he can shoot the 6 in the right center. But I'd rather go too far and have one of the top corners available as well.
That was the pace. It's not bad, Tim. It's a pretty good shot. You can just draw this back a little bit for the 8. This is a big shot now. Get him on the hill.
Well, at least he can let his stroke out a bit into the left long rail.
What a brilliant run out this is, Tim. To get him on the hill. Aggressive 2 ball. A couple of nice shots in between. And a well-deserved rack on the board for FORTUNSKI. Gives them 10-7 and on the hill, 1 away from the title. It's very nice finish that, Tim.
Yeah, and he still has one more break to come, so he could seal the deal on his own breaks. There's that 2-ball. Excellent shot there. Took a little bit of a risk, but it came with a high reward.
So here we go. FORTUNSKI would love to put this match and tournament to bed right here, right now. Hoping for a big break. Chasing that 1 ball. There's the trophy. Oh, it doesn't make either. Try break, Tim. There's drama yet. Does the 2 go in the side? That's the big question at the moment. A quick glance.
I actually feel like he broke him softer this time. And a different reaction of the balls. I believe the 2-ball does go as well.
I think it goes in the bottom, maybe. Potentially as well. Or the top, I'm not really sure. We haven't seen the proper angle yet. Judging how he's playing it, that would tell me. Might go. If it does go, then this is a great chance. Balls are pretty nicely situated. Even 4 to 5 is linked quite well. Well, didn't go.
Clever move for Wojciech, but he does allow FORTUNSKI back at the table, and any visit at the table for FORTUNSKI could be Wojciech's last one.
Yeah, he's got the cue ball pretty close to that 8 ball though. Can he actually get to the left side of the table to go 1 rail, Tim? Not sure if he can. He might be able to bend it. Keep an eye on that 6 ball. Just catch the 2 ball thin. Maybe that 6 ball comes into play. No. Good hit, but he's left a shot here. Chance for SZEWCZYK. He just wants to pull this back a little bit, just to make sure he's got an angle on the 3 to go up for the 4. Oh, he's pushed it, Tim. He's being a bit fortunate as well, though. This 2 ball does go. Does FORTUNSKI go all out aggression on this one as well, Tim, like he did in the previous rack? Bit of a miss that from SZEWCZYK. Big chance that was.
Yeah, I have to say FORTUNSKI could opt to play the overcut on the 2 and just bring the cue ball back down, leaving the 2 near the 4 if he doesn't like it. But he did like it. Look at this for a shot. He pulled it off again. And now it's all in his own hands. He's got the opportunity to close it out. Does he have nerves of steel?
Well, judging by that 2 ball he's potted, he fancies it. I don't blame him. I feel like he's been wanting to take this into his own hands. How's the cue ball?
Can
Tim,
you
that's not
believe
good.
it?
Oh, he's hand in his face. Anything but straight. You just have to take his medicine here straight away. Nothing you can do. 6 ball is over the corner. He's not going to try and punch this, is he? Wow. You done well to get that there, Tim. That looked absolutely poker straight on that rail.
Yeah, slight bit of overcut on the 3 ball. Left him almost straight on the 4. And now this long 5 ball. If he makes this, he's back en route to win the title. Yeah, excellent cueing. Look at this angle. He's left himself on the 6. Could go 1 rail to the center of the table. Could go with left spin around the 7, 2 rails. Just depending how much he likes the cut. If he's scared to miss the cut with the spin, just play straight over to the center.
Yeah, I like this shot better, Tim. I felt that was more value, much more comfortable playing it this way. Just have to come back up table for the 8, but the hard work is done now.
Oh, he's gonna land a little short. I cannot see him dropping this in and take a long 9. He is going to travel the cue ball around 3 rails.
Just one more good shot. This looks good for me, Tim. Great shot.
Absolutely perfect. This is it. This is for the title. Mieszko Fortunski. And there it is. So it is Mieszko Fortunski is our new 2025 Predator Austrian Open champion. Also, congratulations, of course, to the runner-up Wojciech SZEWCZYK for a fantastic performance these last days. Both of them played absolutely fantastic pool. Also, thanks everyone to tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned for the prize ceremony coming up very shortly after this. And of course, we will have plenty more action to come from the Predator Women's Eurotour, which ends tomorrow. So this was Graham Hickman and Tim de Ruyter in the booth. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Now it's time for the trophy ceremony for the 2025 Predator Austrian Open. Let's welcome our presentation party. The sponsorship manager of Predator Group and former WPA World 10 Ball champion, UBSC, and the Bürgermeisterin of St. Johann in Pongau, Miss Evelyn Huber. Firstly, a big hand for your runner-up, Wojciech SZEWCZYK. for your Predator Austrian Open champion. He's the king of the Alps. It's Mieszko FORTUNSKI. Concludes the trophy presentation. Thank you all for joining us this week here, and we'll see you all in Slovenia next month.